Shabbat Shalom. Our scripture reading for today is Ezekiel chapter 47, verses 3 through 5. When the man that had the line in his hand went forth eastward, he measured 1,000 cubits, brought me through the waters. The waters were to the ankles. Again he measured 1,000, and brought me through the waters. The waters were to the knees. Again he measured 1,000, and brought me through. The waters were to the loins. Afterward he measured 1,000, and it was a river that I could not pass over, for the waters were risen, waters to swim in, a river that could not be passed over.
Shabbat Shalom family. Our selection today, Step Out.
Into the water, wade out a little bit deeper. Step out into the water, wade out a little bit deeper. If Moshe
came through the Red Sea,
if Noah
came through the flood,
if Joseph
made it through Egypt,
the Hebrew
children through the fire, came from the grave,
and Daniel
from the lion's den,
and Jonah
from the belly of the whale.
step out into the water, wade out a little bit deeper. Step out into the water, wade out a little bit deeper. The church
These members who fight this war,
Israel,
are you listening?
Israel,
Israel, are you listening?
Israel,
Israel, are you listening?
put out
Backs up against the wall.
the Bible
Is our sword,
and the Spirit.
is our shield.
Servants,
Why can't we do the same?
Israel,
Israel in the field,
Israel,
Israel in the field.
step out into the water, wade out a little bit deeper. Step out into the water, wade out a little bit deeper. If Moshe,
Came through the Red Sea,
if Noah,
came through the flood,
if Joseph,
made it through Egypt,
the Hebrew,
children through the
if
fire,
Lazarus,
came from the grave,
if Daniel,
from the lion's den,
if Jonah,
from the belly of the whale.
step out into the water, wade out a little bit deeper. Step out into the water, wade out a little bit deeper. The church,
These members who fight this war,
Israel,
are you listening?
Israel,
Israel, are you listening?
Israel,
Israel, are you listening?
put out
Backs up against the wall.
the Bible
Is our sword,
and the Spirit.
is our shield.
Servants,
Why can't we do the same?
Israel,
Israel in the field,
The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby ye are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness, or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right. After the true children of Israel have completed the punishments prophesied against them for disobedience, they will be regathered and blossom and bud and fill the earth with seed. The rebuilding of his kingdom shall not be without controversy. Yahweh has to have the various parts of his kingdom to be built separately. This protects the materials of his building from Lucifer's corrosion. This very concept is what keeps us from coming together as one nation at this present time. The foundation must be laid first and be able to hold enormous amounts of pressure. Each of the various leaders of Israel shall be brought together as captains of the portions that were given unto them. Those leaders shall be captains, yet servants, under King David and Yahshua. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Lithonia, Georgia. We're going to begin today's sermon in Ezekiel chapter 36. Ezekiel chapter 36, and we're going to read verses 1 through 38.
Verse 1. Also, you son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, You mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus says the Adonai Yah, because the enemy has said against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession.
Now, what is he talking about? This enemy has said it is ours. We possess it. We know the possession is 9/10 of the law. So the people who believe that they have it said that there's no way it can ever be taken out of their hands. They have not understood Yahweh. Go ahead.
Therefore prophesy and say, thus says the Adonai, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that you might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and you are taken up in the lips of talkers and are an infamy of the people.
Okay, so helping, going along with this civil rights, so-called desegregation, we received help because other people realized that it was to their best interest that desegregation happened unto us. Yet when you look at those individuals, they never mingled in with everybody else. You go into their neighborhood and they own everything in it. The houses, the schools, the worship place, everything in it. They move into a neighborhood and buy everything surrounding it. Yet they told you that you need to separate and move out and go into all these other areas. Now, why would somebody help march with you? Now, see, our mothers and fathers thought that people were actually joining with them to help. That was part of their demise. They were telling you to do something that they were never going to do. They was never going to move out of their neighborhood. They was never going to diversify. They was never going to split to go to all these other places. They locked in, and when you go into one of those areas, every corner of that area is owned by them. Yet we were encouraged to get our money makers to move. You have to understand who went and got better houses. The educated, the ones who were well-to-do. What did that do? Take the powerful people out of our neighborhoods. We helped produce the ghetto. We did that by making substance and then taking our substance away from the area that we came from. We did that. They helped us do it. Go ahead.
You know what, brother? It's the same thing we're not seeing with the Palestinians. I heard someone say something on a talk show where the guy was saying 50% of the population of the Palestinians are below the age of 15. So what, with these attacks on the hospitals and all that, what are you killing off? All the caretakers, all the people who have skills. So how long is it going to be able before you can rebuild your community with people who have any type of skills when 50% is 15 years or below?
Right. And you've been oppressing them so long that all they know how to do is fight oppression. What else do they know how to do? And how many times, I mean, you got to think about it. What did they do to demoralize us? Every time we built a community that was sustainable, it somehow got caught on fire. You know, either that or it flooded. They gave us earth, wind, and fire. We thought that was a group. We still think it's a group. You tell us earth, wind, and fire, we start dancing. No. That was how they destroyed us. Every time we get something of substance, one of them earth, wind, and fire come through and destroy it. Then they pass a law saying how they don't have to pay you, even though you had insurance. How long do you think it takes for those people to just lose it and say no matter what we do? You know, we build something in peace and we stay away from the so-called militants, and then you bomb the school and the hospital. We did everything we can to stay away from them, and then you still bomb us and them. Go ahead.
Verse 4, therefore, you mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Adonai. Thus says the Adonai Yahweh to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, to the desolate waste and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore, thus says the Adonai, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, thus says the Adonai Yah.
It says they have appointed my land into their possession. You know, appointed is a very, very interesting word. You have to go back to see how this land was given. Yahweh says the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. They didn't take it, it was appointed. They went right in. The Palestinians moved out the way. They walked right in. After the British pulled out, then they slaughtered the Palestinians. How was it appointed? They said in those world wars, we need to have a homeland for these people, and it was appointed to them by statute. That goes completely against what Daniel said. Daniel said the saints of the Most High gonna take it. He says the people of Idumea have appointed it to themselves. Who went to the United States and Britain and said, give us this land? Those people did. And then it was given to them in writing. Appointed. Right. So you let these folks fool you with all this stuff that they can speak, and then they turn around and get us yoked up into that, and then we think that makes us somebody. Yahweh is not fooled. See, what we forget is when we think that when Yahweh gives a pause, we think we done fooled him. He's not going to run out of time. So you don't need to move right now. No. He won't let everybody, all the sympathizers, let all the sympathizers gather together. That way when I throw one rock, I can kill all of them. Go ahead.
And to the valleys, thus says the Adonai Yah, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because you have borne the shame of the heathen. Verse 7. Therefore, thus says the Adonai Yah, I have lifted up mine hand. Surely the heathen that are about you, they shall bear their shame, But you, O mountains of Israel, you shall shoot forth your branches and yield your fruit to my people of Israel, for they are at hand to come. For, behold, I am for you, and I will turn unto you, and you shall be tilled and sown. And I'll multiply men upon you, all the house of Israel, even all of it. And the cities shall be inhabited, and the ways shall be built.
And you know, you have to look at some of these things and says, and I will multiply men upon you. You know, we as a people have never had a problem multiplying. But then when you move and consider all the devices that have been moved against us to make sure we do not multiply, now you have a different story. Now when you have the majority of our men being locked up for strange made charges, you have these moves to make sure that we can't procreate. I mean, even when this new piece of medicine came out and they say, you know, black people ought to be the first one to get it. I was the most. That if they didn't say nothing else, I already had an issue. But once they said black people need to be the first to get it, they ain't never made us first in nothing. All of a sudden, you want to put us first in the line? A hurricane comes, we the last one to get water. Call 911, it go past you to go somewhere else. We call for a cab. The cab don't even come pick us up. All of a sudden now, you need to be the first one in line to get this new experimental situation that we just worked up in Cockroach's garage. Absolutely not. You ain't never made me first. Now I'm supposed to believe that you all of a sudden just had a clean, break that comes through your heart, and all of a sudden you want to be good. And I mean all the way at the top. This didn't come down from the people down the street. This came down from the king of the nation. And it flowed all the way down. You need to be first. And then we assume that the ones that they gave us is the same ones that they gave out on the other side of town. Silly people. It's a clear bottle. How do you know that what you got is the same thing that they got? And then you're looking at them and say, well, they didn't die. They didn't get the same wine, genius. Go ahead, bro.
And I'll multiply upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bring fruit. And I'll settle you after your old estate, and will do better unto you than at your beginning.
Okay, I will settle you according to your old estates. Yahweh already know where your place at. I told y'all before when we was at the old spot, I said, somewhere Yahweh is decorating a place for you. There's a short term and then there's a long term. This is our short term. I would like to thank the people who was here before, and they did a fine job. They did a fine job. I really appreciate what they did. Yahweh was saying, you know what? No, make this bigger. No, he needs space. That's nice. Yeah, that's nice right there. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, make it like that. They didn't know who they were making it for. They were making it for you. They're making something else for you right now. They don't know they're making it for you, though. See, while people deceiving Yahweh, Yahweh is also deceiving them. They really think they're getting over on Yahweh, and he's just sitting back laughing. Go ahead.
And you shall know that I am Yahweh. Yea, I will cause men to walk upon you, even my people Israel, and they shall possess you, and you shall be their inheritance, and you shall no more henceforth bereave them of men. Thus says the Adonai, because they say unto you, you land devoureth up man, and has bereaved your nations.
You know, they say that this is the infamy of Israel. After all the things that we've done in this country, you'll still walk around some rednecks and they'd be like, you know, those blacks are lazy. Lazy. We built this whole stinking what? You better move. You better move. I'm telling you now, General Lee, you better move. We built this whole place. You gonna call us lazy? That's that mind game. But that has gone as an infamy among us. Now people walk around and say it, and they done told that lie so much, they actually believe it's true. When you find the hardest jobs in here, I bet you're gonna find one of us. Look at the hardest jobs in this land and watch and see who's doing it. You might look, you know, you ain't paid attention if you haven't really done that job before. You see them UPS and FedEx, you think that's an easy job. All right, I tell you what. A lot of people done took that. They say, you know, I'm going to work a summer job for UPS. It ended up being a week of the summer. And they figured out, hey, man, hold on. They put me in the back of the truck and forgot I was there. Oh, you find out, oh, no, they working. That's why you see nothing but us doing those jobs. Some of those jobs are extremely difficult. And as you go around and find out which jobs are difficult, look and see who in them. But they're going to play this mind game with you and say, you lazy. Now play that game somewhere else. Because lazy is some people who go get another people to build their country for them. That, my friend, is lazy. Go play that game somewhere else. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Therefore you shall devour men no more, neither bereave your nations any more, says the Adonai. Neither will I cause men to hear in you the shame of the heathen any more, neither shall you bear the reproach of the people any more, neither shall you cause your nations to fall any more, says the Adonai. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their own doings. Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman. Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for their idols wherewith they had polluted it.
And you can allow anything to become an idol. All you have to do is stop looking at it in its natural sense and give it some kind of holy power. Like in most of these synagogues, before they get ready to start service, they walk around with a Torah scroll. And everybody put their hands on. what the hell are you doing? You turn it into an idol. How about read it and start doing the stuff in it? Don't just sit there and when it come by. Now you done made inner music to yourself when it comes by, and now you touch it. Now you become holy. You became holy because you touched it. You made it an idol, and you can do that same thing with people. You can do that same thing with items. What becomes an idol? It doesn't just make it an idol. We look at one thing. Oh, the cross is an idol. No, the man standing up there could be an idol. If you worship the man more than you do the instructions that the man's supposed to be reading. Well, my elder died, people act like they had never even knew what a Bible was. Like all this book went away when he went away. There was a whole lot of people that had set my elder up as an idol. He didn't set himself up as one, but they surely did. Guard your heart, Israel. Go ahead.
And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries. According to their way and according to their doings, I judged them.
His judgment was scattering Israel. The whole time, every time you find some town hall meeting, we always trying to get together. So in other words, you're trying to undo what Yahweh did. Right. Go ahead.
And when they entered onto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name. When they said to them, these are the people of Yahweh, and are gone forth out of his land. But I had pity for mine old holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whither they went.
You need to take this into consideration. All you had to do was go there and you profaned his name. All you had to do was go somewhere and they say, that's an Israelite. And they say, oh man, that's an Israelite right there. His name got blasphemed just like that. You didn't go and start saying bad things about Yahweh. No, what you did was just do whatever you do. And then they attributed that to Yahweh because they know what you are. That's how Yahweh's name got blasphemed. So you can walk around and be one of them Sabbath Hebrews just like they got Sunday Christian. But you're going to raise hell all the other days of the week. And then come in here, thee thou thitherest. Thine Elohim, how gracious thou art. And you got gas and matches in your trunk setting fires everywhere all week. Come in here, we can still smell the gas. Right. Go ahead.
Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus says the Adonai, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which you have profaned among the heathen, whither you went.
I do this for my holy name's sake. See, there's power in the name. People always tell you there's power in the name. Yeah, so much power that power will get you kicked for the name. So much power that it also gets you saved. Not because of you, but because of the name. See, same thing make you laugh, make you cry. See, he'll whoop you for that name, and he'll turn around and save you for that same name. Check that out. Go ahead.
And I'll sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which you have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, says the Adonai, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes.
I will be sanctified in you before their eyes. Then they're going to know me. See, it ain't nothing to take some folks who rich and own half the earth to set them people up in a land. That ain't nothing. How can you proclaim you a great God when you do that? But I tell you what, let me take them people who we've been seeing on TV with their pants hanging down and they either twerking or jerking or popping and locking. Let me get them people and let me set them people up in a land. Then they're gonna be like, you know what? Oh, Yahweh real right there. Yahweh real. They're like, you see Buddy right there? He's standing there now. He got a scepter. Now he ruling. That was Buddy at Jiffy Lube. You remember Buddy that Jiffy Lube? That Jiffy Lube Buddy right there. Oh yeah. Then you gonna know. Oh no, that's a powerful Elohim. No, he don't want to take the great and do great things with them. No. He want to take the ones who everybody said they ain't gonna be nothing. You know what? They ain't never gonna get their stuff together. No. Them the ones he want. He said, man, you know, I tried to go to school. I couldn't finish. I'm a have not. Y'all were like, that's exactly, come on. That's what I want. Come on. You and your GED, bring it with you. Bring it. I'm going to show you what to do with that GED. Watch this. Watch what I do with it. I know them other people got a degree, but you got, come on, bring it. Let me show you something. Oh, he loved them kind. That's how he going to get some glory. It ain't no big thing. If we go to a Mike Tyson fight and Mike Tyson win, we expected him to win. What was amazing is we went to the Mike Tyson fight and then he lost. Now we trying to figure out who's Buster Douglas. Who is he? That's where Yahweh like to stand. He loves the underdog. Because in that, you can't possibly get none of his glory. Because nobody expected you to win anyway. Go ahead.
You know, brother, and we're from verse 20 on to where we're at now. It's all been about his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, he's going to put us back in the land. These people say they're Israel. They back in the land. What glorification has his name got?
None. Matter of fact, his name is getting greatly blasphemed because of the things that are happening. But what's interesting is you're supposed to be the Holy Land and you can't even say his name.
The point I was getting at.
How you gonna be holy? I can't. You mean tell me I'm gonna go in his name, in his land, but I can't say his name in his land? So I can go to your house and I can't say your name in your house. Hey, it's ill. Well, who you came here to see? I came here to see. Who? Bro, are you saying something? What are you saying?
You know the name.
You know, buddy. You know what I'm talking about, Slim Buddy. The one that look like Buju. You know what I'm talking about? I came over to see him. Say, and then I got to do all this. But I'm at his house, but I can't say his name. Come on, man. Come on. What did you do that at? Go ahead, bro.
For I'll take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit I will put within you. And I'll take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I'll give you an heart of flesh.
But you're going to have to work for that. I done heard people several times, you know, God knows my heart. God's going to give me a new heart. How you going to get that? You just going to keep doing all the stuff that you've been doing and you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be miraculously different? No, you're going to work for that new heart. You know, oftentimes they do surgery and they say, you know, the body rejected the transplant.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. We ain't considered that. That, you know, he gave me a good heart. He gave me a clean heart. Right, he gave you a clean heart and your dirty body rejected it. Get that clean thing out of here. We don't know how to work in that. You ain't got no dirty heart. That one right there, it look like it's been cleansed and stuff like that. I don't know how to operate with that. Uh-huh. See, you got to get your body ready for the heart that he gonna give you. Or else it will reject the transplant. Go ahead.
And I'll put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you shall keep my judgments and do them. And you shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and you shall be my people, and I'll be your El. I will also save you from all your uncleanness, and I'll call for the corn and will increase it and lay no famine upon you.
I will save you from all your uncleannesses. There's some uncleannesses that we can fight and win. There's others that we have been fighting our whole lives. We fight it, we win for a couple months. And we on our victory tour. We in the middle of the victory lap. And here come that uncleanness, came right at your victory party and slapped you right across your face. Psh! And you right back at step one. And you've been going through this. He said, all right, you just keep fighting, but I'll take care of you at the end. But you got to keep trying to fight that uncleanness. But this tells us there's going to be some still left. Go ahead.
You know, you just got to keep pointing out stuff. Even verse 27. When you look at the people in the land, he says, when I put you back in the land, I'll put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you will keep my judgments and do them. That is not happening.
No. I just read something. A brother was talking about how they putting straw in the olive trees to set them on fire. Come on. That's completely against the Torah. But see, you know how you can muddy the waters? Instead of operating by the Torah, now you got Gemara and Talmud, you got all these other things, right? Now you can say the other book allowed you to do it. See, now you have opinions on top of his law. And now the opinions, which is what the Talmud is, it is a bunch of opinions about the law. So now we're not going to read the law, we're going to read an opinion about the law. Do you know how strange that is? Just think about how as a concept, that is strange. We're not going to read the law. We're going to read what somebody said about the law. And after you get through reading all these different opinions, so here it is. We read Ezekiel 36 and verse 30. But then we got 30 different opinions about verse 30. You realize that we're more confused about verse 30 than what we were before we started, right? And you got to understand how the adversary works. When I give you so many options, you choose none. You ever seen the people walk in the restaurant? The line, 8 people in the line. They go through all 8 people. And they said, may I take your order, please? Hey, hold on, bruh. Bruh, you've been in the line for 27 minutes. Bruh, that means you ain't changed in 27 years. Now, you've been in the line for 27 minutes. It ain't changed in 27 years. Now that you standing here, you are mesmerized by what? The choices. You gotta understand how the adversary works. Sometimes you think that he take away your choices. No. What he do is give you so many that you can't choose. He can destroy you either way. Take away the options or give you too many. Go ahead.
I'll also save you from all your uncleanness, and I'll call for the corn and will increase it, and lay no famine upon you. Verse 30. And I'll multiply the fruit of the tree and the increase of the field, that you shall receive no more reproach of famine among the heathen. Then shall you remember your own evil ways and your doings that were not good, and shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for your lawlessness and your abominations. Not for your sakes do I this, says the Adonai, be it known unto you. Be ashamed and confounded for your own ways, O house of Israel. Thus says the Adonai, in the day that I shall have cleansed you from all your lawlessness, I will also cause you to dwell in the cities, and the waste shall be built.
The waste shall be built. Go ahead.
And the desolate land shall be tilled, whereas it lay desolate in the sight of all that pass by. And they shall say, this land that was desolate is become like the Garden of Eden. And the waste and desolate and ruined cities are become fenced and are inhabited.
Right. When Yahweh is blessing you, it angers your enemies, because as you put your hand to do something, it keeps prospering. He said this land that was desolate is going to look like the Garden of Eden. I guarantee you that everybody who passed by this property saying, you know what, it was going to be too much to fix it, I bet they riding by and saying, man, we should have got that. Now, how this do this? How this do that? Right. Yahweh said, when I put my spirit on it, watch what it do. You can put all your money into something, but if his spirit ain't in it, it ain't going to prosper. Go ahead.
Then the heathen that are left round about you shall know that I, Yahweh, built the ruined places and plant that was desolate. I, Yahweh, have spoken it, and I'll do it. Thus says the Adonai. I will yet for this be inquired of by the house of Israel, to do it for them. I'll increase them with men like a flock. As the holy flock, as the flock of Jerusalem, in her solemn feasts, so shall the waste cities be filled with the flocks of men. And they shall know that I am Yahweh.
They shall know that I am Yahweh. when you have a nation full of people who are not afraid to say his name, who will praise his name, will walk in the law and magnify the law, they shall know that I am Yahweh. They're going to know that he is Yahweh when his people are going to openly worship and exalt him. There is something strange that you can be in a land and can't say the name of who you say put you in the land. There's something seriously strange about that concept. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 1. But it's interesting. Yahweh said, you shall not mention the names of other gods out your mouth. He didn't say you can't say my name. So then we have to ask ourselves, well, if you are in a land and you can't say his name, but you can say the other God's name. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do you have something in your midst that you think it may be jealous if you say Yahweh's name? Even Beyonce said, say my name. If ain't no one around you, say my name. Don't say my name. Wait a minute, if ain't no other gods among you, say my name. Say my name. The name. Imagine saying that till you won't. Say my name. Name. What? Say my name. Huh? She? Oh, no. No, something going on here. You mean tell me you in my land, but you can't say my name? Some things we need to examine, y'all. Deuteronomy chapter 1, and let's start at verse 1.
These be the words which Moshe spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Tophel, and Laban, and Hazeroth, and Dizahab. There are 11 days' journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir unto Kadesh Barnea. And it came to pass in the 40th year.
You have any idea how strange that sound right behind each other? It's 11 days' journey. And it came to pass in the 40th year. Wait, what? See, this is what you got to know. You need to find you something else to play with. In 11 days' journey. Okay, in the 40th year. You gonna say that right behind each other? Right. This is what your disobedience gets you. 11 days journey. You know how hard it is to try to tell somebody, yeah, that's where we're going right there. Okay, so why don't we just go there? No, we gotta wait. This whole generation gotta die. But I can see it. Do you know how hard that had to have been? Go ahead.
And it came to pass in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moshe spake unto the children of Israel, according unto all that Yahweh had given him in commandment unto them. After he had slain Sihon the king of the Amorites, which dwelt in Heshbon, and Og the king of Bashan, which dwelt at Ashtaroth in Edrei. On this side Jordan, in the land of Moab, began Moshe to declare this law, saying, Yahweh, our Elohim, spake unto us in Horeb, saying, you have dwelt long enough in this mount. Turn you and take your journey, and go to the mount of the Amorites, and unto all the places near thereunto, in the plain, in the hills, and in the vale, and in the south, and by the seaside, to the land of the Canaanites, and on to Lebanon, onto the great river, the river Euphrates. Behold, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land which Yahweh sware unto your fathers, Abraham, Esaac, and Jacob, to give unto them and to their seed after them. And I spake unto you at that time, saying, I am not able to bear you myself alone. Yahweh your Elohim has multiplied you, and behold, you are this day as the stars of heaven for multitude. Yahweh Elohim of your fathers make you 1,000 times so many more as you are, and bless you as he has promised you. How can I myself alone bear your cumbrance, and your burden, and your strife? Take you wise men, and understanding, and known among your tribes, and I'll make them rulers over you.
So the same thing Yahweh did before, he's going to do again. Go ahead.
And you answered me and said, the thing which you have spoken is good for us to do. So I took the chief of your tribes, wise men, and known, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands, and captains over hundreds, and captains over fifties, and captains over tens, and officers among your tribes. And I charged your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is with him. You shall not respect persons in judgment, but you shall hear the small as well as the great. You shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is Elohim's, and the cause that is too hard for you, bring it on to me, and I'll hear it. And I commanded you at that time all the things which you should do.
All right. So then he's setting forth this order so that he is not having everything brought to him. There are captains, and those captains are taking care of this business. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 4. See, what's happening there is order is being set up. But let me tell you something. When you start having orders, when you start having some problems. Because see, you got certain people that say, I'm only going to take instructions from him. Who? Yahshua got to come himself and tell me. I tell you what, you're going to die. You're going to die. Because Yahshua not talking to you. See, when he had these captains, as you go up, the captains command a larger amount of men. Well, then, those captains who command those larger amounts, that's who going to be in the meeting with Yahshua. All those other people not going to be in there. Those are going to be the people who get instruction from King Dawid. Everybody not going to be in there. So then that's going to be handed down from captain to captain to captain. And you have to command the group that has been given to you according to the instruction that was given unto you. And a lot of times people are ready to be captains, but they hadn't been in the point where they had to follow some instruction. But they ready to lead, but they ain't learned how to follow. And whenever you got an individual who's leading and he ain't never followed, he's a horrible leader. This is why King Saul was a horrible king. Yahweh didn't have time to prep him. They demanded, give us a king. And they got an unprepared individual. And people mistake their earthly conquest with dealing with rulership in Yahweh's house. Oh, brother, those are totally different things. You have to learn where there's some things that are alike and where they are different. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself into some serious trouble. Go ahead.
I, therefore, the prisoner of the Adonai, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith you are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love.
Sometimes that may be the hardest thing to do, forbearing one another in love. Israel make you prove you love them. Go ahead.
Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, even as you are called in one hope of your calling.
When you read the things about the seven churches, you're going to find that it says the angel that was over that church. So then you have a spirit that is driving that entire body. So that one spirit is driving each one of them so that they can do the specific job that they have to do. No matter where that may be, some over here, some over there, that one spirit is commanding that to be done. So when we get something different from that, somebody is getting direction from a different spirit. Go ahead.
One Adonai, one faith, one baptism, one El, and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in you all. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Yahshua. Wherefore he says, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Now that he is ascended, what is it but that he also descend first into the lower parts of the earth? He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things.
And what are they talking about? They're talking about at baptism, that spirit that descended in the bodily shape of a dove and rested upon the body of Yahshua, which was Israel. It was after that Yahweh said, "This is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased." He was 30 years old when that happened. Yahweh didn't say not nan time the other 29 years, "This is my son." He wasn't talking about the body. He was talking about the spirit that came and dwelt in the body. We are dealing with flesh. There's something enormously greater that's happening. But we're limited by the things that we can control, the things that we can touch, feel, taste, hear. Those are the things that keeps us grounded. But this spirit is what Yahweh was talking about. Go ahead.
And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers.
Right. So then there are different things. Just like you might have one captain who has a group to go do something over here. Another captain has a group to go do something over there. They do not all have the same job. Some apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors and teachers. Go ahead.
For the perfecting of the saints.
But they have the same bottom line purpose. But they're going to achieve that in a different route. We might be all going to build a house, but some people got to work on that side, and some people got to work on this side. Some people working up top, some people working up at the bottom. Some people working on the grounds, somebody else working on stone, somebody else working on wood. But at the end of the day, we all working for the same purpose. Go ahead.
For the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahshua, till we all come into the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Yahshua, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine.
Mm-hmm. We get a doctrine just by going on Facebook. We done picked up a doctrine that quick. We go on Instagram, we got another doctrine just that quick. Go ahead.
By the sleight of men and cunning craftiness.
That's what get us right there. Somebody's cunning, crafty post got you way over here off in left field somewhere. Go ahead.
Whereby they lie in wait to deceive. But speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Yahshua, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplies, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, maketh increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love.
All right, bro. That was the end of that?
Yes.
All right, let's go to Genesis chapter 39. Now, hearing these things and understanding that there's going to be, captains and all of these things, and we're going to have various areas of instruction here. That's all fine and dandy. But in real life application, when that happens, you're going to go through something. Genesis 39, and we're going to read verses 1 through 23.
And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him off the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither.
Now, bought him. Joseph is sold. We're talking about a savior of Israel right here is bought. Pay attention. Go ahead.
And Yahweh was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man.
Now, you know what's confusing? If Yahweh was with him, why was he able to be bought? This is the part of how dealing with Yahweh is confusing. Because it looks like he done left you and he's standing there the whole time. If you with me, why you let them sell me? But there's something in this for you. Go ahead.
And he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that Yahweh was with him, and that Yahweh made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him oversee over his house, and all that he had he put in his hand.
So he was such a good servant that now he's a servant with authority. See, Yahweh just don't grab people and just throw them in charge. No, those people have to serve under somebody. They learn how to serve. He then in turn makes them rulers. See, people didn't understand what David was going through with them sheep. Sheep can't see that good. You have to guide the sheep. He had to deal with something that he was personally responsible for his life. He didn't know he was being trained. That was the job that none of the other brothers wanted. The others are big warrior men. The little pretty boy playing the harp, writing poetry out there with the sheep. The daddy didn't even want to show him to Samuel. I mean, it's one more, but I mean, it's a little pretty one. I mean, you're looking for warrior men. You're looking for a king to anoint. I got a little short, pretty dude back there. I know you don't want to say he's not show him to me at once. Yeah? He probably playing the harp, writing poetry right now. Surely that ain't no king type. You looking for a killer. But he said, no. Yahweh, don't look at me in the way you look at me. Go look at him at once. As soon as he saw him, this is he. Anoint him. This is him. You know how they had to make these brothers feel? These big muscular men, warriors, and you go and get the sheep dude. You're like, what? So am I chopped liver? You pass by all these muscles? And you went and got shipwrecked? Right. Go ahead.
And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph. And she said, lie with me. But he refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master knoweth not what is with me in the house, and he has committed all that he has to my hand. There's none greater in this house than I.
So he went from a captive to none greater in the house. Go ahead.
Neither has he kept back anything from me but you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against Elohim? And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her, to lie by her, or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time, that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house and spake unto them, saying, see, he has brought in a Hebrew unto us to mock us.
You see how people bring you into their stuff, mock us. Now it's us. Us wasn't in there trying to take no love. That was just you. Now is he brought him in here to mock us. Go ahead.
He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me, and fled and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until his master came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, the Hebrew servant, which you have brought unto us, came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out.
This is pure anger at this point. How dare he turn me down? I ain't never been turned down by no man before. Who he think he is? Talking about his God and what's right. What's right is what I said it was right. Now, how many other servants in that house done already had that happen to them? See, these are situations that we hadn't asked. It might be a butler sitting over there like, I know that ain't true.
Yeah.
But King, I'm not going to say nothing here. I'm going to end up in jail too. I mean, Go ahead.
And how many people did he ask? Did you hear her cry out?
You know, hey, how many people done already served that bird? Okay? Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner did your servant to me, that his anger was kindled.
You see, this is where you look at where a man stands. He automatically believes his wife without doing anything. You know, even when you deal with Adam, it tell you right off the rip, he was not deceived. He made a decision to follow his wife. He wasn't deceived. Right here, he's straight taken by whatever she says. Go ahead.
And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison.
Well, at least he got, he got a different set of quarters. Cause we know there's different jails. If anybody done some time, they tell you, now wait a minute. There's some country club jails. There's some people in jail right now to my four. What is he? What? He in jail? Go ahead.
But Yahweh was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison.
This is the very difficult thing about the journey of a servant or of a leader to be. Yahweh is with him. He sees him get accused of rape and let him go to jail. To us, we said, this is the ultimate that Yahweh can't be with me. Why would you allow me to be accused of rape and allow me to go to jail? But then turn around and be with me in the jail. I'd rather you be with me in the suburbs. Go ahead.
And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison.
Now look, he can't even stop his gift. He go to jail, and even the jail people are like, you know what, this dude is different. Everywhere he go. But this blessing is getting some exercise. Go ahead.
And whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because Yahweh was with him, and that which he did, Yahweh made it to prosper.
So now the keeper of the prison don't even have to do his job. He can turn around and give that job to Joseph. So although the man is blessed, and Yahweh is causing this man to be seasoned with this. Let me tell you something. You do time, you never forget your time. This man is a future ruler. He is a future leader. He will never forget his time in the bricks. Yahweh is training him. But then you have to also understand that this gift that Joseph has, it will never prosper if it's among his brethren. So somehow, the gift that he has to get over there. And hey, the daddy was already protecting him. The daddy didn't even let him go out in the field. You think the daddy was going to let him go to Egypt or anywhere else? Absolutely not. Daddy kept him in close quarters. No. You ain't going nowhere. You different. But he protected him. Yahweh needed him to go through some of this. See, being in jail was going to help him. See, he didn't go out there in the field with his brothers. So Yahweh, like, I got another job for you. And this one going to make you even more manlier than the men that was out there in that field. Check that out. Let's go to Genesis chapter 45. Genesis chapter 45, and let's start that at verse 1. Now we have to consider this. We read this going through as a man. Consider Israel having to be rebuilt as a nation. So take this one situation and sitteth upon us all. Go ahead.
Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him. And he cried, cause every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren.
So at this point, now they have been made to come to Egypt, and now the little boy has turned into a man. And he has all the Egyptian jewels, all the Egyptian coverings. They think they're looking at an Egyptian. There's several things that you learn there. That the Israelites look so much like the Egyptians that their own brothers couldn't tell them apart. Now we have a dilemma. I would never, even if the people who are in Egypt who swear that they are the ancient Egyptians, even if let's say we tell that lie, and we say they are, would anybody confuse the Ish for an Egyptian? We have another problem. These brothers are in the midst of the brother whom they sold and don't know it's him. They think it's an Egyptian. That means these people look so much alike that if you change their clothing, cut their hair, they may look like those people. Interesting. I told y'all the people across the street said, yeah, them Ethiopians over there. Okay. Great, brother.
And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Does my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence.
Oh, yeah, they were troubled at his presence. Go ahead.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, come near to me, I pray you.
Now, this is scary. Now, come closer. Huh? Yeah, come on closer. Go ahead.
And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph your brother, whom you sold into Egypt.
Uh-huh.
Now therefore be not grieved or angry with yourselves that you sold me hither. For Elohim did send me before to preserve life.
Now, how long did it take him to figure that out, though? How long? You got to understand the process that he had to go through to get there. I'm talking about anger, pissed off, murderous crazy. Then, so you mean, now, here's the problem. What happened if he run into his brothers and he at the murderous crazy stage? Judah, is that you? Right. Oh, he didn't just arrive here. No, he done time. He done been a servant. Oh, no. There were stages before he got here. Do not think that he just automatically arrived at, God sent me here to preserve life. No. It took some things for him to get to this point. Go ahead.
For these 2 years has the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years, in the which there shall neither be airing nor harvest. And Elohim sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it was not you that sent me hither, but Elohim.
Okay.
And he has made me a father to Pharaoh, and the master of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt.
What did they say? Shall me and your mother and bow down to you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you shall. Go ahead.
Haste you, and go up to my father, and say unto him, thus says your son Joseph, Elohim has made me master of all Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not. And you shall dwell in the land of Goshen, and you shall be near unto me, you and your children, and your children's children, and your flocks, and your herds, and all that you have.
So consider, the one that they sold off, they said, this dreamer cometh. The one that they just couldn't stand to hear him talk. Now he is the one that preserves the entire life of this family. So it was needful that he be accused of rape, thrown in jail. Because understand now, as he went, He was one man's servant. But he's still just an Egyptian, a servant of an Egyptian. He needs to be the servant of that Egyptian. So he has to be accused of rape, thrown in jail, so that the servants of that Egyptian will then hear of him and take it to that Egyptian. Now he becomes a servant of that Egyptian. The process is ugly. But Yahweh is in the end of a thing. Remember that. Go ahead.
You know, brother, you got to see what you let get hold of you, because you think about the dream that upset them. Simple dream that I'm gonna rule over y'all.
Mm-hmm.
That's what y'all got to the point that y'all sold me, that I'm gonna rule over you.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I'm the younger one. That upset you?
Yep. You got to understand the pride of some individuals. There are certain people who cannot allow themselves to be taught by anybody who's younger than them. There are certain people that will walk in here and still have indignation. We done watched this several times.
Mm-hmm.
We'll sit there and look at you for a year, 2 years, and the whole time they got indignation. What's your problem? I'm 13 days older than you. Are you serious? Go ahead, Pray.
And there will I nourish you. For yet there are 5 years of famine, lest you and your household and all that you have come to poverty. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is my mouth that speaks unto you. And you shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that you have seen, and you shall haste and bring down my father hither.
Now, understand now, these people have had entered in collusion where they all have gotten together to tell this lie that an evil beast done killed this boy. Now, them same people got to go. Now, see, this Israel now. Because understand, they were going to take this lie to the grave now. You understand that, right? This lie was going to the grave. Now, this, all these brothers, we talking 10 lies. And they taking to the grave. I wonder what the younger brother even know. Because if you taking this lie to the grave, you don't lie to everybody. So imagine the young brother. What you mean he living? I thought he died. And he in charge somewhere? Now imagine that. So now you got two individuals who's smiling, but they got questions. Now imagine these other 10 brothers. Oh man, he about to find out. Daddy, surely the sting of death has passed, right? How long y'all been lying to this man till his face? But this is that part where we gonna want mercy. This is where the brothers gonna want mercy. And it's funny. The individuals who have straight faced been rebellious against you are the very ones who are going to ask for mercy. The ones who had absolutely no mercy for you are the ones who are going to look directly in your eyes and say, have mercy on me. And they had none available for you. Go ahead.
You know, you also got to wonder how Benjamin was dealt with being the younger one after Joseph was moved out of the way. Because now you either got to deal with him with pity because y'all know what you did to his brother, or you still dealing with him harsh because he the younger one. Where that fight, this fight that he got come from?
Maybe they felt so guilty that they made him strong. Maybe the daddy made sure he took a different option because he protected the other one. So maybe he said, now y'all make this one tough. So next time, if I let him go, ain't nothing gonna happen to him in the wood because he gonna be ready. And then they built the killer. Go ahead.
And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept. And Benjamin wept upon his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them. And after his brethren talked with him.
Understand now what's happening. All right? They don't think that he has survived all of this. Period. But to the brother and the father and all the sisters, all the women, he's risen from the dead. Go ahead.
And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come. And it pleased Pharaoh well and his servants. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Say unto your brethren, This do you, lade your beasts, and go, get you on to the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households, and come unto me, and I'll give you the good of the land of Egypt, and you shall eat the fat of the land. Now you are commanded, this do you, take you wagons out of the land of Egypt for your little ones, and for your wives, and bring your father, and come. Also regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Egypt is yours. And the children of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them wagons, according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way. To all of them he gave each man changes of raiment, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment.
Hey, he's the one that didn't have nothing to do with none of this. He didn't have nothing to do with none of this. I might give y'all what y'all need to survive, but Benjamin is going to get way more than that. He didn't have nothing to do with y'all deception. He was born afterwards. Mm-hmm. He the only innocent party in this. He ain't even part of the daddy spoiling. He got nothing to do with none of this. You take all this. And once again, by then they're gonna have to get it right. Once again, the youngest still got more than everybody. Mm-hmm. This is what they had a problem with to start with. Mm-hmm. Right. You thought you were proving something, huh? Right. Go ahead.
A little compensation for being without you, the brother.
There it is. Womb. There it is. Here you go. Put a little something on it. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Verse 23. And to his father he sent after this manner 10 asses laden with the good things of Egypt, and 10 she-asses laden with corn and bread and meat for his father by the way. So he sent his brethren away, and they departed. And he said unto them, See that you fall not out by the way. And they went up out of Egypt, and came into the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father, and told them, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is a governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not.
Right. So now this old man done already had shocked to when they told him, Is this your son's coat or no? So he done already had that heartbreak. Now you're going to lay this on the old man? Go ahead.
And they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. And Israel said, It is enough. Joseph my son is yet alive. I'll go and see him before I die.
I will go and see him before I die. And you have to look at this concept, because this is something that Israel is going to have to deal with. We may have various leaders amongst this community of Israel, and all of us may not get along. But when it comes down to the bottom portion of us doing what we got to do, we're going to have to put all those differences aside and do the jobs that we have been set forth to do. You might not like the teacher down the street. When Yahweh get ready to put us together and said, all right, this group do that, this group do that, then we're going to have to do the jobs that we've been commanded to do. And when Yahweh said it's over, it's over. You better not throw down another stone. You better not swing at all. There was a little something that happened right there. Well, Joseph did a little talking before he revealed himself. But he earned that. He earned that by all the things that he went through. So let's go back and look at a little bit of that. Go to chapter 37, and I want to read verses 12 through 36. Genesis 37. So you got to understand that the weight of this redemption has to fall on somebody. Genesis 37 and verse 12.
And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not your brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I'll send you unto them. And he said to him, Here am I. And he said to him, Go, I pray you, see whether it be well with your brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seeketh you? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray you, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They're departed hence. For I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren, and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him.
Now, this is the one who's being conspired against, is the one who saves the whole family. Okay, go ahead.
And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer comes. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say, Some evil beast has devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dream.
So understand, they have all agreed that this is the lie that they're going to roll with, and they went back to the daddy and told that lie. I do understand it was their full intention to take that to the grave. Go ahead.
And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread.
They sat down to eat bread after they threw him in the pit. Now, this is extremely violent. Yet he preserves Israel. When we look at our own hearts about how we feel about things, if this don't test your heart, people say, God is love. So they stay in the New Testament, so they think this is where all this love stuff. No. You need to put yourself in this situation. All this betrayal was done against you. And then you end up being the one in power. What you gonna do? Go ahead.
When you talk about Reuben and when he lays down the law of being unstable, most of us think about the part where he went up to his father's couch. But it is the beginning of your stability right here.
Instead of being the older brother and say, you will not do this to him. You will not. He gonna try to even deceive the deceivers. Go ahead.
And they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes and looked. And behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Yehuda said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood?
All right, so listen now. It's Judah's decision to sell him as a slave. I need you to let that. I need you to let that sink in for a second. I need you to just let that sink in. Just bite on it. Don't chew it all. Just bite one time and just hold it right there. Just hold it. Just hold it right there. There we go, right?
Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites. And let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen.
Now understand now, at the end, we already read the end. It was Yahweh that led me. Understand, Yahweh in each one of these things. You know how alone he has to feel right now? But Yahweh is in every part of it. Yahweh is in the anger of his brothers. Yahweh is in the ripping off of his coat. Yahweh is in the lie that they told that an evil beast has devoured him. Yahweh is in the selling of him to one group of people. Yahweh is in the transportation of him to with another group of people. Yahweh is in the accused rape of him. Yahweh is in the transfer to the next house with him. And Yahweh is then with him when he is made second in command. Go ahead.
And they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren and said, The child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, This have we found. Know now whether it be your son's coat or no. And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast has devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days.
Right. Now, here it is. They have gotten together to tell this story, and it has broken this man's heart. Go ahead.
And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted.
He refused to be comforted. Go ahead.
And he said, For I'll go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him.
I'm going to die mourning. I ain't never going to get over this. Go ahead.
And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard.
All right. A lot of times people want to be that individual who is in charge, but we don't really understand what all is expected of us. In this, Yahweh was training him. All training don't have training snapped on it. Right. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 18.
When you look at that whole story, you see the evolving of rulership and these boys. Like you say, Judah came up with the plan. When their dad was refusing to send Benjamin, Judah the one stepped up and said, My kids. I put my kids on the line. But you know what you did.
At some point, there's some accountability that's coming. Look, let mine be, I'll stand in the stick. Right. But you got to wonder, what was the daddy's mindset when he found out? You mean y'all did this? So wait a minute. So when y'all was comforting me, you was comforting me after a deed that you had done. What kind of deception does the daddy feel he has undergone at this point? Go ahead. 1 Samuel chapter 18. Let's start at verse 1.
And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day, and would let him go no more home to his father's house. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant, because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself out of the robe that was upon him, and gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle.
He doesn't really understand he loved this man so much, and this stuff that he's given, he's really passed on the rulership to David already. This is why Saul eventually gets angry and said, You think I don't know what that you son of a perverse woman, that you have decided with my enemy? Don't you know that you will never be established as long as David lived? He was already the king no matter what. There wasn't nothing you were going to be able to stop. But he still had to go through the motions. Even when Yahweh give you something, he don't give you something. I mean, it's yours. But you got to go get it. See, that is the thing. See, I wish I understood that when I, first started having children. I wanted to be what I didn't have. So, I gave my first boy everything. He didn't even know that all shoes didn't have a Jordan on it until he was like 12. I gave him some regular Nikes. He thought we was poor. Father, we poor. Where's the little man? The man. Father, but where's the man? The man, you know. Father, the man is missing, Father. Father, these regular Nike. Father, we poor. Did you do bad in stocks, Father? What? Now, what does Yahweh do? He give it to you, and then he make you go get it. If I would have understood that, I would have operated differently. I would have gave him all that stuff. I would have put it down the street. Now go get it. No, it's yours. No. I gave him that same truck. I paint that truck. I put rims on that truck. I put music in that truck. Now go get it. It's yours, but you got to go over there and get it. I went to those people. They said I had to pay such and such. Ah, man, that's messed up. So look, you're going to need a job. See, if I understood that, I would have operated differently. But when you know better, you do better. Go ahead.
And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war. And he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. And it came to pass, as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, that the women came out of all cities of Israel, singing and dancing, to meet King Saul.
Oh, this is how you make problems right there. This is how you make even the manly man. Wait a minute now. They gonna sing to him? Go ahead.
With tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. And the women answered one another as they played, and said, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very angry, and the saying displeased him. And he said, They have ascribed unto David 10,000, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the kingdom? And Saul eyed David from that day and forward.
Right. So here it is. But at this point, David still respects him as an elder ruler. But he has now a problem with him. Sometimes you have individuals who in your midst who have an issue with you that they have not vocalized yet. Go ahead.
So was Michal around when this indignation was displayed?
Hey.
She ended up having the same issue, right?
It's rather interesting.
And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from Elohim came upon Saul. And he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand as at other times. And there was a javelin in Saul's hand.
So the evil spirit has now come upon him. Go ahead.
And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I'll smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice.
Now, I don't know how many javelins you have to throw at somebody, but at this point, I'm pretty much at a relocation program, because I pretty much thought javelins was just something you throw at the Olympics. You gonna throw this at me? We out. We out. Go ahead.
And Saul was afraid of David because Yahweh was with him.
No. I need you to listen to something. So the one who threw the javelin was actually the one who was afraid. So when we throw spiritual javelins at one another. So when you hear somebody talking about an individual, you have to understand what's happening. They are afraid of that individual. Right. Go ahead.
And was departed from Saul. Therefore Saul removed him from him and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people. And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and Yahweh was with him.
He behaved himself wisely. He learned how to follow, which is going to make him a great leader. Go ahead.
Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him.
He was even more afraid of him now. I do stuff to hurt this dude and it still work out. Go ahead.
But all Israel and Yehudah loved David because he went out and came in before them.
All right, let's go to chapter 22. 1 Samuel chapter 22. Now let's start that at verse 1.
David therefore departed thence, and escaped to the cave of Adullam. And when his brethren and all his father's house heard it, they went down thither to him. And everyone that was in distress.
Check this out. Check this out. So now Yahweh is building David. But look at what he builds him with. Go ahead, start at verse 2 again.
And everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in debt, and everyone that was discontented, gathered themselves unto him. And he became a captain over them. And there were with him about 400 men.
Wait a minute. So other people are then having problems. So Yahweh can push them to David. Now, he done had to leave because of somebody trying to kill him. So Yahweh is for, and you still got people who listening. Yeah, I spoke to the Lord last night. This is how they gonna be led. I hope you are paying attention. Not one time are they getting this. Hey, I think you should go down to the cave of Adullam. I think you should start a group there. Go ahead.
And David went thence to Mizpah of Moab. And he said unto the king of Moab, Let my father and my mother, I pray you, come forth and be with you, till I know what Elohim will do for me.
Check this out. Check this out. Who he said that to?
The king of Moab.
All right. Remember that. Go ahead.
And he brought them before the king of Moab, and they dwelt with him all the while that David was in the hold. And the prophet Gad said unto David, Abide not in the hold, depart, and get you into the land of Yehudah. Then David departed and came into the forest of Hareth. You know, you talking about talking to people. David is Yahweh's man, right? But who is telling David where to go? The prophet Gad.
Prophet.
Not Yahweh coming and talking to David.
But all these people, God talked to them last night. There's no in between. And matter of fact, and all the instructions they're getting is for themselves. I keep trying to tell you, wait a minute. So he giving you information for you, just for you. And if you don't show up to the front of the church with $1,000, you don't get the personal prophecy. You don't get that PPP loan, that personal prep package. Right. Go ahead.
When Saul heard that David was discovered and the men that were with him, now Saul abode in Gibeah under a tree in Ramah, having his spear in his hand, and all his servants were standing about him. Then Saul said unto his servants that stood about him, Hear now, you Benjamites, will the son of Jesse give every one of you fields and vineyards, and make you all captains of thousands and captains of hundreds? That all of you have conspired against me, and there is none that shows me that my son has made a league with the son of Jesse, and there's none of you that is sorry for me, or shows unto me that my son has stirred up my servant against me, to lie in wait, as at this day? Then answered Doeg the Edomite, which was set over the servants of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse coming to Nob, to Ahimelech the son of Ahitub. And he inquired of Yahweh for him, and gave him victuals, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine. Then the king sent to call Ahimelech the priest, the son of Ahitub, and all his father's house, the priests that were in Nob, and they came all of them to the king. And Saul said, Hear now, you son of Ahitub. And he answered, Here I am, my master. And Saul said unto him, Why have you conspired against me, you and the son of Jesse, in that you have given him bread and a sword, and have inquired of Elohim for him, that he should rise against me, to lie in wait, as at this day? Then Ahimelech answered the king, and said, And who is so faithful among all your servants as David?
That probably got him killed right there. Go ahead.
Which is the king's son-in-law.
Wait a minute, he your son-in-law, and he under you. Go ahead.
And goes at your bidding, and is honorable in your house.
You the one sitting him places. Go ahead.
Did I then begin to inquire of Elohim for him? Be it far from me. Let not the king impute anything unto his servant, nor to all the house of my father, for your servant knew nothing of all this, less or more. And the king said, You shall surely die, Ahimelech, you and all your father's house.
Saul was not a man to reason with. He didn't have any reason in him. Go ahead.
And the king said unto the footmen that stood about him, Turn and slay the priests of Yahweh, because their hand also is with Dawid, and because they knew when he fled, and did not show it to me. But the servants of the king would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priests of Yahweh.
See, even among some individuals, there's some honor. Hey, hold on, man. Hold on, bro. We might follow you and do a lot of things, bro, but this ain't one of them. I'm not putting my hand on them priests. Go ahead.
And the king said to Doeg, Turn you and fall upon the priests. And Doeg the Edomite turned.
Right. The Edomite loves to kill a priest. Oh, you threaten him with a good time. And we still having those same issues right now. Oh, they love to kill a priest. Go ahead.
And he fell upon the priests, and slew on that day 75 persons that did wear a linen ephod. And Nob, the city of the priests, smote he with the edge of the sword, both men and women, children and sucklings, and oxen and asses and sheep with the edge of the sword.
Now, I know those men felt like, no, we're not going to do this. But y'all stood by why he did it. See, this is that thing we do.
Well, I didn't say it. I didn't say the things against the priests, nothing like that. But I was there when they said it. But I didn't say it myself, per se. It didn't come out my lips, but it went in my ears.
Okay. All right. They stood there. There's this thing that we think we being neutral. So then when things go down, we think, I'm just going to go in neutral. No. You on one of these sides. You understand me? You either fighting for good or you fighting for evil. You on one of these sides. Ain't no neutral. That there, my friend, is a mountain. You don't climb to a mountain in neutral. You going to be in one of these gears. You understand me? You either going up this hill or you going down this hill. Ain't no neutral here. Go ahead.
One of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Ahitub, named Abiathar, escaped and fled after Dawid. And Abiathar showed Dawid that Saul had slain Yahweh's priest. And Dawid said unto Abiathar, I knew it that day, when Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul, I have occasioned the death of all the persons of your father's house. Abide you with me, fear not. For he that seeks my life seeks your life. But with me you shall be in safeguard.
Now, and he's going to guard this man with his life because he know what he has already caused to this man's family. But now you have to understand what has happened. Yahweh already had he who is discomfited, he who is in debt, he who is distressed. Let him go to Dawid. That's how he got his soldiers. Then he turned around and now he just gave him a priest. But wouldn't nobody talk to nobody and then nobody float nowhere. But he in the purpose of building the kingdom though. Are you paying attention, Israel? Or you still waiting for somebody to float through these damn doors and talk to you? Right. Hold your place there because we're going to come back close to this. Go to Isaiah 16 for me. Isaiah 16, I want you to read verses 1 through 6.
Send you the lamb to the ruler of the land, from Selah to the wilderness, onto the mount of the daughter of Zion. For it shall be that, as a wandering bird cast out of the nest, so the daughters of Moab shall be at the fords of Arnon. Take counsel, execute judgment, make your shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday. Hide the outcast. Bewray not him that wanders. Let mine outcast dwell with you, Moab.
Okay. When Dawid was in there, where did his family stay?
King of Moab.
Okay. Go ahead.
Be you a covert to them from the face of the spoiler.
See, sometimes Yahweh make you live through prophecy. Sometimes people speak prophecy and other times they got to live through it. Go ahead.
For the extortioner is at hand, the spoilers cease. The oppressors are consumed out of the land. And in mercy shall the throne be established, and he shall sit upon it in truth in the tabernacle of David. Judgment and seeking judgment, judging and seeking judgment, and hasting righteousness. We have heard of the pride of Moab. He is very proud, even of his haughtiness, and his pride, and his anger. But his lies shall not be so.
All right, now let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 24. Yahweh says he tells you the end before the beginning. 1 Samuel chapter 24, I want you to start that at verse 1.
And it came to pass, when Saul was returned from following the Philistines, that it was told him, saying, Behold, David is in the wilderness of En-Gedi. Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all Israel, and went to seek David and his men upon the rocks of the wild goats.
All right, so you at this point, you're talking about a not a battle among different individuals. This is a battle among Israelites. He is seeking the life of this man, and has a set of soldiers who's going with him to kill David. Go ahead.
And he came to the sheepcotes by the way. There was a cave, and Saul went in to cover his feet. And David and his men remained in the sides of the cave. And the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day of which Yahweh said unto you, Behold, I'll deliver your enemy into your hand, that you may do to him as it shall seem good unto you.
Now, you have to listen to what it says the prophecy was. And the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day which Yahweh said unto you, Behold, I will deliver your enemy into your hand. You may do to him as it shall seem good unto you. Mm-hmm. That means it was your choice. Mm-hmm. Yahweh didn't say you go in there and you kill him. Mm-hmm. You may do to him as it seems good unto you. So in other words, Yahweh said, I'm going to lead him there, right? And then I'm going to let you choose. Yourself had the opportunity to really do his brothers a number. But he didn't. Go ahead.
Then David arose and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe privately.
Now he close enough to cut off a piece of his garment, just so he can prove he was there. Which means he could have cut his head off. Go ahead.
And it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him, because he had cut off Saul's skirt.
Now, check this out. With all the things that Saul has done against him, it hurt his heart that he had even touched the garment of an individual who was anointed. Now you start to see how certain people operate. How is it that you have to wonder when Yahweh asked Miriam, how is it that you were not afraid to speak against my servant? You see a different heart right here. Go ahead.
And he said unto his men, Yahweh forbid that I should do this thing unto my master, Yahweh's anointed, to stretch forth my hand against him, seeing he is the anointed of Yahweh.
He is the anointed of Yahweh. He was anointed for that position. But you got to understand how these men probably feel. Hold on, bro. You know how long we've been running from this dude? You know how long we've been doing this and doing that? He's right here. He's asleep. You standing above him. Come on, man. Let me kill him then. Can I tell you what? Won't you go? You know what? Won't you go get you some lentils? I'll take care. I'm gonna put him night. I'll put him night. Just go on. You ain't got to see this. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I thought I probably want to do it, man.
Man, what are you saying? You're gonna kill that man's whole family. Go ahead.
So David stayed his servants with these words, and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. David also arose afterward and went out of the cave and cried after Saul, saying, My master the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stooped with his face to the earth and bowed himself. And David said to Saul, Wherefore heareth you men's words, saying, Behold, David seeks your hurt. Behold, this day your eyes have seen how that Yahweh has delivered you today into mine hand in the cave. And some bade me kill you, but mine eyes spared you. And I said, I'll not put forth my hand against my master, for he is Yahweh's anointed. Moreover, my father, see, yea, see the skirt of your robe in my hand. For in that I cut off the skirt of your robe, and killed you not. Know you, and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in mine hand, and I have not sinned against you.
Right, I have not sinned against you. You hate me, I don't hate you. You have a problem with me, I don't have a problem with you. Go ahead.
Yet you hunteth my soul to take it.
Uh-huh.
Yahweh judge between me and you.
Yahweh judge between me and you. Some of the heaviest words that you can ever hear. Go ahead.
And Yahweh avenge me of you, but my hand shall not be upon you.
It won't be my hand that you will be damaged by. Because I'm not going to put my hand on an anointed of Yahweh. But Yahweh judge between us. And then you go on about your way. Go ahead.
As saith the proverb of the ancients, wickedness proceed from the wicked, but mine hand shall not be upon you.
Uh-huh.
After whom is the king of Israel come out? After whom does you pursue? After a dead dog? After a flea? Yahweh therefore be judge, and judge between me and you, and see, and plead my cause, and deliver me out of your hand.
Yahweh therefore be judge and judge between me and you. You can say whatever you want to say when you with your people. You can say whatever you want to say when you with these women. You can say whatever you want to say. But Yahweh judge between me and you. If I have harmed you, then let Yahweh deal with me. For Yahweh knows all the things that were said in public and in private. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when David had made an end of speaking these words unto Saul, that Saul said, Is this your voice, my son David? And Saul lifted up his voice and wept. And he said to David, You are more righteous than I, for you have rewarded me good, whereas I have rewarded you evil.
You have rewarded me good, whereas I came to you with evil. We know if Saul had that opportunity, he would have killed David. So now we got some weight put on us. When Yahweh does pick the better in heart to lead, should we do something just because we know the evil would have done it to us? We know for a fact he would have killed us. But you ain't got to believe me. Keep reading.
And you have showed this day how that you have dealt well with me. For as much as when Yahweh had delivered me into your hand, you killed me not. For if a man find his enemy, will he let him go well away? Wherefore Yahweh reward you good for that you have done unto me this day. And now, behold, I know well that you shall surely be king.
I know well that you shall be king because you're a better man than I am. Go ahead.
And that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in your hand. Swear now therefore unto me by Yahweh that you will not cut off my seed after me, and that you will not destroy my name out of my father's house.
But see, Yahweh is in this too. Because David like, no, I'm not going to do it. Somebody else did. See? Oh no, when people trying to be slick, you done hunted this man's life. You think you going to procure health and peace for your offspring? Oh no, you got another thing coming. And then what do Yahweh do? Turn around and get a man his wives too. Hey, yeah, David, by the way, go in that house right there. No, the blue one. Yeah, you're going to find something in there. I got 10 presents for you, unwrapped. Right. He know how to pay you back. Go ahead.
And David swore unto Saul, and Saul went home, but David and his men gat them up onto the hold.
All right, let's go to Ezra chapter 4.
You know, my brother, on this, he said, swear that you not cut off my seed. Remember when David sent his 7 sons, he still saved Mephibosheth's son.
He sure did.
So he still kept his promise.
But see, it was his own deed that put that weight on him. You went and hunted down some people whom Israel had done swore that they would protect. Those servants. So that's what got Saul's kids taken away. Wasn't David? Let's go to Ezra chapter 4. Yeah, Yahweh might send you through hell, but he'll give you your payment back later. So the same man who he got to run from, Yahweh done told him, go in the blue house. I done made a way for you to pay for this, for you to get paid for this debt. You about to get paid tonight, son. You about to get paid. You about to get paid tonight. Uh-huh. Right. Right. Hey, he hard, but he fair. Hey. Ezra chapter 4, let's start that at verse 1.
Now when the adversaries of Yehuda and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity built the temple unto Yahweh El of Israel.
So now we understand some how when the men are getting together, what kind of things we are going to have to endure to get our hearts right. Then we have to deal with the physical place. Go ahead.
Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your El, as you do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Asher, which brought us up hither.
Okay. I need y'all to digest every last bit of this. Okay. Now, when the adversaries of Yehuda and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple. So, as the children are getting together the building of the temple, now then comes some other people. Then they came to the chief of the fathers and said unto them, let us build with you. But their adversaries, they're pretending like they're with them. Okay? They are come to frustrate the building. All right? And they're going to frustrate the building in whatever way they're going to do it.
You gonna hold a hammer like that? You know, if I was you, I wouldn't lay no flow like that. That ain't how you dig no hole. That's how you gonna hold that shovel.
Wait a minute. They came to frustrate the building, but they were adversaries. Now, look at how they came into the word. Look at it says, for we seek your Elohim. He's not their Elohim. As you do, we do sacrifice unto him. So you got people who are in the word and you got people who are around the word. Do not be fooled about those individuals who are around it, but they're not in it. Okay. Unto the days of Esarhaddon, king of Asher, which brought us here. Wait a minute. Brought us here. They got brought in the land. So now you have people who are claiming that they are Jews because they were brought into the land. Okay, go ahead.
But Zerubbabel and Yeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, you have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our Elohim.
This is why, when it goes down to it, there's some people we don't want their help.
Folks say, you know what, I don't think that's right. You should let everybody help.
What they say? You have nothing to do with us. No. We realize every time you help, it get worse. Whole wall fell down when you helped. Every time we put a screw in, you take a screw out. No. That's because they were purposely trying to frustrate the building. But then want to make it look like they're doing something else. They want to make it look like they're helping. The whole time, they are against the kingdom while standing amongst the people in the kingdom acting like they're trying to build it. Sometimes a lie so good, he deceive himself. Go ahead.
But we ourselves together will build unto Yahweh Elohim of Israel, as King Cyrus the king of Persia has commanded us. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Yehuda and troubled them in building.
Okay, so when they couldn't play with their mind, they couldn't get in. So they're first trying to get in to help. They can't get in to physically help because they know, no, we know what y'all trying to do. So now they try through other means. Now it's time to go to other people and to discourage those people from working. See, if they could have been there themselves, then they would have been doing you look for your hammer. I put my hammer down right here. And your hammer just get up and grow legs and walk. You put down all the nails and your nails is gone. What's happening? The work is being frustrated. You measure out the stuff, you look up, your measurement's gone, or somebody wrote wrong stuff on your measurement. You done cut the wood wrong, you done lost that wood. What is happening? They couldn't get in to do that. So now they got to get to frustrate the building some other way. So now they got to get in the ears of other people. Go ahead.
And hired counselors against them.
Hired counselors against them. Sometimes we so cheap. We get hired to be a counselor for evil and we didn't even get no check.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
To frustrate their purpose. All the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, even until the reign of Darius, king of Persia. And in the reign of Ahasuerus, in the beginning of his reign, wrote they unto him an occasion against the inhabitants of Yehuda and Jerusalem. Against the inhabitants of Yehuda and Jerusalem. And in the days of Artaxerxes.
In other words, he sent a text or email. It was an accusation. Go ahead.
And in the days of Artaxerxes.
He posted it. Go ahead.
Wrote Bishlam and Mithridath, Tabiel, and the rest of their companions unto Artaxerxes, king of Persia, and the writing of the letter was written in the Syrian tongue and interpreted in the Syrian tongue. Rehum the chancellor and Shimshai the scribe wrote a letter against Jerusalem to Artaxerxes the king in this sort. Then wrote Rehum the chancellor and Shimshai the scribe and the rest of their companions, the Danites, the Apharsachites, the Tarpelites, the Arphasites, the Archavites, the Babylonians, the Susanites, the Dahivites, and the Elamites.
That's a lot of ites. Go ahead. And
the rest of the nations whom the great and noble Asnapper brought over and set in the cities of Samaria.
Wait a minute. Do y'all understand how many people are now in the land who ain't got no business being there? But people want to tell you,
Oh, we've been in the culture. We've been in the land.
I know. The problem is you ain't supposed to be there. Because the children of Judah was removed and then these other people put in. Go ahead.
And the rest that are on this side the river, and at such a time. This is the copy of the letter that they sent unto him, even unto Artaxerxes the king. Your servants, the men on this side the river, and at such a time. Be it known unto the king, that the Yehudis which came up from you to us are come unto Jerusalem, building the rebellious and the bad city, and have set up the walls thereof, and joined the foundation.
Now understand that it's the same individuals that first said, let us help. Now their writing said there is a rebellious and bad city. They trying to build it. Stop them. The same ones who said, let us help with you. I hope you're paying attention, Israel. Go ahead.
Be it known now unto the king that if this city be built and the walls set up again, then will they not pay toll, tribute, and custom, and so you shall endamage the revenue of the kings.
It always comes down to some kind of money, don't it? This is how you get people to act. Make people think that somehow some money gonna be lost in something, and it's gonna be the money that you supposed to have. Right. Go ahead.
Now because we have maintenance from the king's palace, and it was not meet for us to see the king's dishonor, therefore have we sent and certified the king. The search may be made in the book of the records of your fathers, so shall you find in the book of the records, and know that this city is a rebellious city, and hurtful unto kings and provinces, and that they have moved sedition within the same of old time, for which cause was this city destroyed.
It says search in the records. So they said we want to look at your arrest record. And they say, you see, this city moves with seditions. Oh, so they don't like to be ruled over and they fight back. Right. Go ahead.
We certify the king that if this city be built again and the walls thereof set up, by this means you shall have no portion on this side the river. Then sent the king and answered unto Rehum the chancellor, and to Shimshai the scribe, and to the rest of their companions that dwelt in Samaria, and unto the rest beyond the river, peace and at such a time.
So understand something. The strangers who are in the land do not want true Israel to return and build in righteousness. So they frustrate the cause so that they can stay in power. Go ahead.
The letter which you sent us has been plainly read before me, and I commanded, and search has been made. And it is found that this city of old time has made insurrection against kings, and that rebellion and sedition have been made therein.
Right, they're looking at your arrest record when they came in to conquer you and you had the nerve to fight. They said, you resist an arrest. Go ahead.
There have been mighty kings also over Jerusalem, which have ruled over all countries beyond the river, and toll, tribute, and custom was paid unto them. Give you now commandment to cause these men to cease, and that this city be not built, until another commandment shall be given from me. Take heed now that you fail not to do this. Why should damage grow to the hurt of the kings?
So this prospered partially, at least for a time, that the work was stopped when it came down to it because of these falsehoods. And if we are not careful, we will turn around and walk right into the same thing again. Well, we will let those who first attempt that they are with us and see if they can first frustrate our building with their own hands. And when they can't, they're going to try to frustrate the building with their mouths. Now, the enemies of Yahweh have confused themselves into believing that they are just haters of you. They have intertwined the things of you with the things of the kingdom. They count everything they have done for you, but none of the things they have done to you. They think it is your responsibility to carry them to the mountaintop. They hate you, yet believe they have a right to what you have built, the very things that your hands have labored for. They use what you have built to build their own houses, then speak against you in the houses they built from the foundation that you have laid. So it shall forever be with those that lay the foundation of Yahweh's building. A foundation must hold all the weight that is placed upon it. Fret not, O children of Israel, as Yahweh may stress test his foundation from time to time. Let's go to Psalms chapter 40. Psalm chapter 40, and start that at verse 1.
I waited patiently for Yahweh, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. He brought me up also out of an horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings. And he has put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our Elohim. Many shall see it, and fear, and shall trust in Yahweh. Blessed is that man that makes Yahweh his trust, and respecteth not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies.
A lot of times you look at a situation and people, you may think that there's a lack of trust on one side, but it's really not a thing of they don't trust Yahweh. They know that they can't be trusted by Yahweh. They know that they're not going to do those things, so they don't enter into the covenant. They may know what Yahweh's going to do. Yahweh has proven that he's going to be faithful. It's us we worried about. But then instead of owning up to our own things, we're going to throw that mistrust back over on somebody else. Go ahead.
Many, O Yahweh my Elohim, are your wonderful works which you have done, and your thoughts which are towards usward. They cannot be reckoned up in order unto you. If I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered. Sacrifice and offerings you did not desire. Mine ears have you opened. Burnt offerings and sin offerings have you not required. Then said I, Lo, I come. In the volume of the book it is written of me. I delight to do your will, O my Elohim. Yea, your law is within my heart. I have preached righteousness in the great congregation. Lo, I have not refrained my lips, O Yahweh, you know it.
I have preached righteousness in the great congregation. Lo, I have not refrained my lips. Oh Yahweh, you knoweth. Understand? Not refraining your lips and being able to speak this word amongst the great congregation. That gets you indignation. And he said he hadn't stopped his lips. Understand? There's a situation that people may not want you to speak on. There's certain things that people don't want you to teach. It gets you indignation. Go ahead.
I have not hid your righteousness within my heart.
Uh-huh.
I have declared your faithfulness and your salvation. I have not concealed your loving kindness and your truth from the great congregation.
Uh-huh.
Withhold not your tender mercies from me, O Yahweh. Let your loving kindness and your truth continually preserve me. For innumerable evils have compassed me about.
Innumerable evils have compassed me about. But Yahweh saw that it was good for you because it's going to cause growth. It's going to make it so you will be able to be that captain that you're supposed to be. Go ahead.
Mine lawlessness have not taken hold upon me, so that I am not able to look up. They are more than the hairs of mine head, therefore my heart fails me. Be pleased, O Yahweh, to deliver me. O Yahweh, make haste to help me. Let them be ashamed and confounded together that seek after my soul to destroy it. Let them be driven backward and put to shame that wish me evil. Let them be desolate for a reward of their shame that say unto me, Aha, aha. Let all those that seek you rejoice and be glad in you. Let such as love your salvation say continually, Yahweh be you magnified. But I am poor and needy, yet the Adonai thinketh upon me. You are my help and my deliverer. Make no tarrying, O my Elohim.
All right. Let's go to chapter 71 and let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Psalms 71. And we're going to start that at verse 1.
In you, O Yahweh, do I put my trust. Let me never be put to confusion. Deliver me in your righteousness and cause me to escape. Incline your ear unto me and save me. Be you my strong habitation, whereunto I may continually resort. You have given commandment to save me, for you are my rock and my fortress. Deliver me, O my Elohim, out of the hand of the wicked, out of the hand of the unrighteous and cruel man. For you are my hope, O Adonai Yahweh. You are my trust from my youth. By you have I been holden up from the womb. You are he that took me out of my mother's bowels. My praise shall be continually of you. I am as a wanderer unto many, but you are my strong refuge. Let my mouth be filled with your praise and with your honor all the day. Cast me not off in the time of old age. Forsake me not when my strength fails. For mine enemies speak against me, and they that lay wait for my soul take counsel together.
Right. When they think a man is weak, I remember when my elder was ending in his last days, I watched all his former students start showing up one by one, sitting in the back of the room. Believing, okay, now he's weak. We're going to go in and we're going to seize control. Then you start to think about statements that people say, what is his health like? Interesting. Go ahead.
Saying, Elohim has forsaken him. Persecute and take him.
Right. Elohim has forsaken him. He weak now. Let's go in. So you gotta, you can't just run up on Mufasa. You got to, if Mufasa's sick, you got to go in. You got to, because when Mufasa get back strong, it ain't gonna be a good day for you. Go ahead.
For there is none to deliver him. O Elohim, be not far from me. O my El, make haste for my help. Let them be confounded and consumed that are adversaries to my soul. Let them be covered with reproach and dishonor that seek my hurt. But I'll hope continually and will yet praise you more and more. My mouth shall show forth your righteousness and your salvation all the day, for I know not the numbers thereof. I will go in the strength of the Adonai Elohim. I will make mention of your righteousness, even of yours only. O Elohim, you have taught me from my youth, and hitherto have I declared your wondrous works. Now also, when I am old and gray-headed, O Elohim, forsake me not, until I have showed your strength unto this generation and your power to everyone that is to come. Your righteousness also, O Elohim, is very high. Who has done great things? O Elohim, who is like unto you? You, which has showed me great and sore troubles, shall quicken me again, and shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth. You shall increase my greatness and comfort me on every side. I will also praise you with the psaltery, even your truth, O my Elohim. Unto you will I sing with the harp, O you Holy One of Israel. You know, my brother, it says in verse, where is it at? You shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth. So this man knew he was going to get raised up out of the ground. Not come down from heaven.
Right.
Verse 23. My lips shall greatly rejoice when I sing unto you, and my soul, which has redeemed, which you have redeemed. Your tongue also shall talk. My tongue also, shall talk of your righteousness all the day long. For they are confounded, for they are brought unto shame that seek my hurt.
Right. While they speaking against us, we are speaking and praising Elohim. Let that be the conclusion of this matter, and let us consider all of these things, because as there are some plays that are in the way, there are many more things that have to be done, but Yahweh is definitely putting things in order to set forth his true people in the place where they are destined to be. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.